Welcome to the Shift podcast, where midlife, medicine, and mindset meet. We're breaking the silence around women's health and simplifying the path to feeling strong, clear, and better than ever. Hosted by me, Heidi Swapp, with insights from Dr. Vohn Watts and stories from real women, the Shift podcast is here to challenge the narrative, empower you with information, and create a new vision for your next chapter. Welcome back to the Shift podcast. And I'm really excited for today's episode because, as always, I found out something that I didn't know that has kind of caused a huge amount of curiosity in me. And I am willing to bet that it's something that you may not even know about yourself, which, dang, is crazy. So get excited. And we're going to, okay, so just let's make sure that you know who that I have here with me. I have two of the most wonderful, generous people who love to share, who love to educate, who love to give, who love to serve people and help them feel better. And they do it like just so generously. You guys are both just amazingly helpful. And in their spheres and in the places that they go, I know that people just love to pummel them with information or with questions and just wanting to know help. And I text them both regularly weird questions. And so someday there's going to be a book of like weird questions Heidi texts late at night.
It's like remember the old Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy?
Yes, it's going to be
Weird Thoughts by Heidi Swapp.
I got this text from Heidi, so I just get super curious. Anyway, so we have with us Dr. Vohn, who is a functional medicine doctor and also a nutrition educator and owns his own supplement company and is leading the charge of new ways to get supplements and stuff into our bodies, which is pretty exciting, cool stuff. And Lauren, who is a functional nurse specializing in women's health and in hormones. She is a international educator, really, we should say. And she loves, I think the thing that's interesting about you is that you love knowledge and you love to share it.
I do. It's one of my top strengths. It's called input. I like to learn, but I only like to learn to be able to share and help other people.
Yeah, she shares to a fault.
Yeah.
She gives to a fault.
She's good at it. She's good. Have you ever seen Lauren speak on stage? She's really good too.
She is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can follow her on Instagram. We'll leave that down in the comments. And I'm happy to tell you. So Lauren has been on our podcast before. I don't know which episode I should probably look, but we will link that as well. Lauren came on and talked about hormone replacement, which was super validating for me. I loved that episode. If you haven't listened to that, get it. Just as a side note, Lauren has 9 children and 1 grandchild.
No grandchildren yet, but one day soon.
Oh, I thought
they're just married. They just got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell her you said that, so maybe she can put the rush on.
Lauren's ready to be a grandma.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am thrilled to tell you that Lauren has come on. She's partnering with us at the Shift. So if you are in the 90-day program, if you join in with the 21-day program, you are hearing from both of these wonderful people who have collaborated a lot. And Dr. Vohn helps Lauren in her virtual practice. And Dr. Lauren gets a lot of training and information from Dr. Vohn. And they are an amazing synergistic duo. And so it's really exciting to have access to them. So let's get to the topic that I want to dive into. And here is the thing. We as women, all of us women, have a 28-day cycle from whenever we're born. We have a 28-day cycle, and at whatever point we die, we are on the same 28-day cycle. If you thought that because you had a hysterectomy or because you had an IUD, you weren't cycling, you're wrong. Like, I just thought I was off the hook from now on. Like, I just thought my rage, erratic behavior was like normal. It was just situational. I am fascinated. When you see the memes, there's, you've got to be getting the memes. I don't know that it's just me, but like the memes about the women's cycle and about that 4 weeks and what those clips from the movies are, that this represents the first week. And it's like the girl being super flirty and cute. And then there's the second week and she's like super productive and typing away. And then the third week, she's like throwing plants off the shelves. And in the fourth week, she's crying and, something like this. I don't know. But all of a sudden I was watching those memes thinking, whoa, I wonder how much truth, because there's always a little bit of truth in the humor and in those stories. And so then I was listening to these men talk on a podcast. It was called Mind Pump, and it's men, personal trainers that build professional weightlifters, men and women. And they were talking about how essential it is to know your cycle as a woman so that you can train to your cycle. And I'm thinking, first of all, why are these guys talking about it? Second of all, what are you talking about? And third of all, I'm not cycling, so I don't need to worry about it. And then fourth of all, I actually am cycling. So those of us who thought if we got to menopause, we were scot-free. No, your body is built on this 28-day cycle, and mind blown, moon involved. I don't know how. This is not a moon. This is not a moon podcast. Maybe it is a moon podcast because
it's interesting because you know that we used to be on a 13-month calendar, not a 12-month calendar.
I've heard rumors.
And the 13-month calendar, do you know how many days were in the each month of a 13-month calendar?
28
right? Days. Mm-hmm.
What man? I mean,
yeah, you're right. What man
was it like the 13 is an unlucky number type of a thing, and they were like, we got to switch this, or there just wasn't like another burr month, or
I don't know the exact reason.
Whoa.
But,
okay.
But yeah, there's reasons. I mean, we look at a lot of this technology, this natural type medicine that's been around for thousands of years, and suddenly it's like, here we are in 2026. And it's like, we're discovering, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Did you know the moon cycle? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, yeah, the Indian and Native Americans and the, pick a culture, they've been doing that for thousands of years. And
we cannot.
But now we just finally believe it because somebody did a study on it. So now it's real, but it's been real for a long time.
Right. You guys, I'm a baby at this. And so I'm really excited to learn because I have tried to avoid my period like the plague for as long as I could remember. A period is just a doom and gloom, right? From the minute, and actually this is TMI probably, I didn't get my period till I was 17 years old. So I was a late bloomer. I thought there was something wrong with me. Of course, we were on vacation at Lake Powell when that happens. And so it's like, oh, and here, shove this up my what? Didn't get up there far enough. Couldn't walk for 3 days. Like, good, Gandhi. I couldn't even have conversations with my mom.
I was horseback riding, so.
Oh my, well, at least maybe that helped.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it is rough. And then even when we zoom out and we think about the women who are living in places in the world that they don't have
access
information, they don't have any idea, they're not educated, they have to sit on a bowl for those 4 days. Yeah. I mean, maybe I need 4 days off a month somehow. But anyway,
yeah, I
promptly got an IUD. Also figured no cycle. If I don't have a period,
which
it goes
one,
away.
By the way?
Like I had the
Moringa.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the bad one.
And frankly, I thought it was the most beautiful thing. I had no problems with it. I did not have a single drop of period blood.
What about the weight though? Everyone I know that went on there gained 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds.
I couldn't control any of my weight ever.
But they would gain every single patient I had come in. And I caught this early on in my career because I just happened to have two patients that had the same problem at the same time. That one had referred the other. Totally different cases. And it was just like stump the dummy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This is so weird. And then I put it together and I called both of them. Do you have this? Do you have this? And they all had the moringa, and they all put on 30 to 40 pounds within 30 days.
I mean, I just thought that was my set point, the 30, because I had it for so many years.
Yeah.
Because when I did go on birth control, when I first got married, I went on birth control for, I think, 2 months, and it did not go well. Yeah. And I was actually like unwell. Yeah. And so my husband was like, oh, who are you?
Yeah. Who did I marry?
What has happened? And like, I was having really crazy, it was not helpful at all. So, I really viewed always my period as like anything I can do to get rid of it. And so I had, if I wasn't trying to have a baby, I had an IUD, and then overstayed my welcome with that IUD as long as humanly possible, and then had a hysterectomy. And so I genuinely thought I haven't cycled for ever. And then to find out that then one person said one thing on one podcast, and I'll tell you what it was, that there's a time in your cycle that you are the most creative. And I was like, can somebody please tell me when that is?
Yeah.
Because I need to know so that I can block it out and do my creative work. And then they were like, and if you're trying to do anything creative during this period, you're going to hit your head against the wall. And I was like, tell me when that time is due. Yeah. And all of a sudden I was like, gosh, somebody needs to explain this to me. It feels like ancient Chinese wisdom that you have to like dig out of the roll, like the papyrus or something. So, and I know that this is your actual specialty. So I was like, let's drop it.
Okay. So first myth, we're going to
bring your men, bring your husbands, because they need to know this.
You need to know so that you can maybe enjoy your marriage a little bit more. And that person sitting next to you doesn't feel like a stranger. I don't know.
And your daughters.
Yeah. Those daughters that you're like, oh.
And your boss who's a woman.
All of them, all the females, the one that you came from, the few that you maybe were raised with, that you're currently raising, that you're married to, that you love because they're part of your life, all of them. Okay, so let's break the first myth, and that is that we only cycle when we have a menstrual cycle. Yeah. So as women, I think when we attribute our hormones, we only attribute them to fertility.
So come a little bit closer.
If we're attributing them only to fertility, then we're only attributing them to is if we have a menstrual cycle and we are fertile, we could get pregnant. That's the only time that it matters. But our hormones impact every body system. And it's not like all of a sudden on your 50th birthday, you wake up and your organs go, I don't actually need estrogen anymore. So all these receptor sites that were here specifically for estrogen, you can just fall off today because today she's 50. It just doesn't happen. So your body as a woman, even before you get your first menstrual cycle, those little receptor sites are there. And
your heart.
In your heart.
In your brain.
By your bones.
Every cell.
My heart has estrogen.
Receptors.
Needs estrogen. Like what? Yeah. Is happening. Crazy.
Absolutely. And so we get to this point where we produce enough hormones to have the outcome of a menstrual cycle, but your body was already cyclical before that. And it's like, as it's kicking in, that's that rough experience of puberty where we're like, this month we produced enough estrogen, next month, maybe not as much. And it kind of waves back and forth until we regulate out and we find our sanity again. I don't know, sometime after 18, or if you start your cycle later, maybe never.
If you've ever found your sanity, great work.
Yeah, maybe you went straight to like, no, it just never happened. Because we went on hormonal birth control to try to regulate things and just, we've talked about this
trying to regulate your acne, trying to regulate your cramps.
There are a few things. There are a few things. There's a handful of things that when a patient comes in and tells me what their doctor wants to put them on and for what reason, that like if my head could explode in front of the patient, it would. And one of them is, we're going to put your daughter on birth control to control her acne.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, you're missing the boat. And second of all, what? You want to screw with my kid's hormones?
Yeah.
At this age? And now you're seeing all these women.
Yeah.
We actually released a product specifically because of this, a year ago, called Post Pill Ease for women getting off of birth control. because there's so much hormone issues after you've been on birth control for a long time.
And it causes more nutritional deficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
It causes so many problems. I'd like to just replace the word birth control with chemical castration. And if you could just swap that out, how many moms are going to opt to actually do that to your child? Because that's what you're doing. You're doing chemical castration. It's not birth control. It's not feminine power. You're castrating your child. That's what you're doing, instead of teaching them how their body actually works and empowering them.
Well, and just that general, I think that thought that is like, oh, if you have your period now, you can't do this and this, and you should probably just sulk in your room and it's terrible and dark, rather than like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Your body's cleansing itself and it's resetting. Like, I was never told that. I was like, okay, hide it. How embarrassing.
That's the one benefit.
This is awful.
That's the one benefit. The guys, we don't obviously have periods, thank goodness.
Right.
Because anybody who's ever taken care of a guy who has had a cold knows how that would go, right? But so we don't get, and I know a lot of times women look at it as like, this is such an inconvenience. Big benefit of it is a major detoxer. Your menstrual cycle is also detox. That's why some women, my second youngest, she actually gets like almost like flu-like symptoms, sick, fever. And I'm like, are you sick? She's like, no, I'm getting ready to start my period. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, we need to work on your liver because your drainage pathways must not be open because you're going into detoxing and you're almost having like a Herxheimer reaction.
That's crazy.
But so there is a great benefit for those that hate their period. Just know that it's once a month that your body is kind of naturally detoxing too.
And if you hate it because it's a miserable time, something's wrong.
Right. We need to figure out why.
It's not normal for it to be a miserable experience. Like, it's actually not supposed to be bad. So there's some other adjustments to make. And again, chemical castration shouldn't be the option. Your body's asking for love and support during that time period. So body's always cycling. For those who have super irregular periods. And
then let's just say this, that a men's cycle on him going through his hormones, his detoxing is 24 hours.
Yeah. We call it the sun. Men are like the sun. It rises and falls every single day. Wild. Yeah.
And we got to go. Don't worry. We'll just run all the way around the entire earth. Like,
we're the moon. So we're supposed to have a 28-day cycle. Yeah. I mean, a lot of ancient civilizations and a lot of cultures, they actually did fertility planning or menstrual cycle planning around the moon, because a lot of women would get their cycle to match up with the new moon. So new moon was supposed to represent time that a woman would menstruate. And then the full moon is when we would expect ovulation. And for anybody who's like, there's no science behind that, I would agree, because the research wasn't done. However, if you have ever worked in healthcare, everyone knows the full moon.
That on the ER.
The ER goes crazy.
Yeah.
With women going into abrupt labor, and all the crazies come out. It just, the moon does things. So even if you're like, there's no research, we haven't done the research. It wasn't something that anybody wanted to spend the money on. And that's why we don't know.
And if you just did a little experiment where you just kind of tracked how you felt on the full moon and how you reacted to bad news.
Yeah.
Just wrote a little journal entry.
Yeah.
You'd know.
Yeah.
Because it just is kind of wild. And I didn't believe it.
It controls a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, we believe it controls the tides.
Yes.
But it doesn't control anything else on Earth.
Right.
Just 90% of the Earth. 80% of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
But it also, that's
but
when
who's
parasites.
Water, right? If we're water.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is we're 80% water?
Yeah. Something like that. 70,
so
it has to, right?
Have something.
It has an effect on parasites. Parasites are more active during the full moon. Yep. And that's why whenever we do a parasite cleanse, we do a full moon challenge. So we do it start 3 days before the full moon and then go through the whole full moon. And it sounds crazy. I mean, for people that don't understand it, it sounds weird, but I had one of my reps years ago. She called me up, and she, at the time I was working for a company that's kind of what we specialize in, was parasitic products. And she's like, I've been taking these products for 4 months. I haven't really seen anything pass. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, have you done it? Did you do it during the full moon, or you just do it? She's like, no, I haven't done the full moon yet. So she's like, I'm going to do it in the full moon. And as a salesperson, you want to have that personal testimony because nobody's stopping you when you talk about it, because you're not, it's not a pitch. It's your story.
Right.
And so it was about a month later, she calls me, she goes, oh my gosh. I'm like, what? She's like, I did it during the full moon. And I could see all these pinworms that came out and and I'd been doing the parasite cleanse for like 3 or 4 months prior and hadn't seen anything come out. But when I did it during the full moon, crazy. So the moon has a major, and what is the full moon? Is what, every 28 days?
Yeah.
Which coincides with, 13 months once again. And why they change stuff. This is, you want to know my conspiracy theory? I'll give you some conspiracy theory on this.
Like a side note,
right?
Ron's conspiracy theory.
That could also be in the book.
Yeah, that's really like conspiracies, because there's a lot of things that have been changed. Like we know the frequency of music was changed in the 1940s. And if you go look into that, it's not for the good, it's for the bad. And so all these like weird changes, like changing months or changing these things, it would make sense that you would have 13 months if you have 13 moons, right?
Right.
And it's every 28 days, the cycle, all these things kind of align. And then when you change stuff, we're 12 now. So now that 28-day moon is not a monthly occurrence. Yeah. It shifts based on however that lands. It just changes stuff a little bit to throw things off just a little bit.
We're a little weaker.
Yeah, we're just a little, it changes your physiology.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, fascinating. I'm going to tell you why I've been eating really clean for a long time. I haven't been to a McDonald's drive-thru in probably years. And it used to, Happy Meals, that used to just be part of your whole life. And I'd get my kids a Happy Meal. I'd get a cheeseburger. I used to be a big fan of just a plain old
cheap fast meal
cheeseburger from McDonald's. French fries, in my opinion, no better French fries than McDonald's. I think they're delicious. On literally last Saturday, it was a full moon. Friday, it's going to be a full moon. I could not keep my car from driving through McDonald's. And I was so ashamed of myself that I went through, I got a hamburger, I bought a small fry, I ate it in my car in the parking lot, got up, threw it away so nobody would find a McDonald's wrapper.
The evidence.
And I was like, something's wrong with me. Yeah. I wasn't hungry. I don't know why. And then I proceeded to have a really emotional, something was off. And then someone's like, well, maybe it was the wolf moon. And I was like, oh yeah, I like this. Blame it on something, you know? Yeah. But anyway, it was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. It does.
So
it's
I gotta
amazing.
track it.
I think, again, we always relate our hormones back to fertility, and we don't give it any attribution for any other aspect of our health. Talking about period flu, our immune system is impacted, the health of our bones, the health of our brain, our relationships are being impacted. So again, all the guys that you're like, this doesn't have anything to do, it has so much to do with you. I promise. If you know what's coming, you can better prepare and nurture this wonderful, beautiful creature next to you, and the relationship gets that much better. So
yes.
Understand. Okay. So one is we're always cycling. First myth we're going to bust, we're always cycling. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you still cycle. If you have PCOS, if you have irregular cycles, if you have had a hysterectomy, or you've gone through menopause, you can track it through body temperature. So it's one of the most accurate, easy ways to kind of figure out where things are at.
I keep hearing you and others talk about that. Is it a certain time of day or is your temperature are you the same temperature all day?
Nope. You have to check it first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. So it's usually a wearable. The options are usually something like an Oura ring or an Apple Watch. If you're wearing an Apple Watch, it has to be flipped inside, so it's accurate with temperature. Or they actually have a new wearable from some of the apps have an active wearable that you can have. You wear it while you sleep. It programs. It asks you what's your typical wake-up time.
Does it matter if it's hot in your room?
No, it's tracking just your body temperature. Now, I'm sure if you tracked me, whether I was sleeping in Alaska or sleeping in Hawaii, there would be some variance, but that's why it's not one time. It gets to know you over a month's time period and kind of tracks for you. And really good apps will ask, are you pregnant? Are you postpartum? Are you perimenopause? Are you just starting your cycle? It takes in enough information to know how much variability it should be putting into. Okay. And this is very, very, very different than typical period apps, which are 100% algorithm. It is, I know you typically tell me you have your period on this date, and then 27 days later, and then 28 days later, and then 24 days later. And I'm going to do this math problem to guess where things are at. Versus you track by body temperature, there's a dip when you ovulate. So it's really tracking, I know what your hormones are doing and when. Okay. So it's a better form of birth control as well, because it's going to tell you when you ovulate, and it will warn like those who are like, I'm using this as an FDA approved form of birth control, because actually you can do that. It'll tell you these are the no days, or these are the days that you've got to use some form of contraception unless you're wanting to become a mom. So it'll go through all that with you. You can even track in like lifestyle tips and like, hey, I noticed when I consumed more fish or I consumed more healthy fats, and then I got my period, my cramps weren't so bad for some crazy reason. So you're able to track the lifestyle choices that are having a positive impact on your cycle for those who are cycling, or those who are like me. I had a hysterectomy, so I have no idea when the crazy days are coming if I don't track body temperature. It's just all of a sudden I'm gonna wake up and I'm like, today I will strangle the most nice, wonderful, handsome human being on the planet. And I don't know why I want to strangle him, but I really want to. And it's like,
She's talking about her husband.
So I have a confession. I've been, Bunny and I have been together since 2000, started dating 2000, got married in 2001. I have never once in the 25 years that we've been together, ever once has she had a month where she has her period and she turns into a grouch. Like no difference. Her personality does not change whatsoever.
yeah.
And I'm like, and I hear about like, like, no, I'm like, man, I was spoiled, lucky.
Yeah.
And I've been spoiled. I've been totally spoiled because it doesn't affect her in that way at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay.
Yeah, no.
I know. Yay for
lucky
me.
for you.
No wonder everyone likes Bunny.
Yeah. She's magical. Now every woman's listening going, what is she doing?
What
And
is
every
wrong
guy
with
is
me?
Like, that's not fair. It's not fair. You should know what it feels
It's because it's because she's from Hawaii.
She's on the opposite spectrum though. She started her menstrual cycle at 11.
Yeah.
And so, which means the earlier you start, the earlier you're going to get to menopause.
Right.
No fun. Yeah. So knowing your cycle, and the good apps have a husband's version. So it'll say, hey, P.S.
Guess what?
She would be starting her period right now. So maybe stock up on the roses and the chocolate right about now. So you can be the hero. I've loved, have you guys seen those videos that go around social media with the 20-year-old guy? And he's like, I met this really nice girl and she told me to check back when she was in her luteal phase. Does anybody know what a luteal phase is?
Right. And that's the only one that I actually know, luteal. And I don't even know if it's good or bad. I just haven't paid attention.
I just had a business idea. I'm thinking, we create an app, right? That does this exact thing. Except I'm going to integrate, and this app is not going to be for women. By the way.
It has shopping items
this
right
will be
in there
for the husband, and then you'll get a notification. Wife's period starts tomorrow. Yeah. Do you want to order roses? And they can just click and it sends.
Save every
because
marriage
guys,
ever.
we have to like the least amount of steps possible to make sure that we get these things done.
And it would be like, it would tell like, what is your wife's love language?
Yes.
Bring food?
Yeah.
Bring flowers? Because if anyone brought me flowers, I would literally kill them.
We will
with
program
the
that in with the love language. Maybe that's our next app.
Yes. Oh,
the guys
marriages
would love
that
it.
could be saved. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So good app. The guys can tap in. They can say, okay, I know.
What's the name of it?
So the Natural Cycles app. That's my favorite.
Right. We're going to link it below.
It's definitely my favorite. It's so insightful. And again, you get to choose. Am I in perimenopause? You're over 35. Just go ahead and check that one. Yes, you're in perimenopause. Am I using this for a form of birth control? And then even if you're like, well, I have such irregular periods, I want to get pregnant and I don't know when I can get pregnant. I don't know when I'm ovulating. It's good for that too. So then again, you want the spouse to have it because it's like, today is the day you're going to call off work because we have things to do. We're going to make that baby, right? So really helpful, really amazing. Lots of heads up. It's just a brilliant. Devon's like, yeah.
No, you started going. I was like, man, people plan this. I'm just like,
I never knew.
I've been like another confession here. My wife and I,
we look at each
we'd
other.
never used any contraception ever.
Period?
Ever. She got the Moringa after our last child, back in probably like her early 30s. Late 20s. She got it and she had it for like a year or so. And she was one of those too. Got it and within nothing changed other than put 30 pounds on in like a month. And I could just go through a list of women that's exactly what happened to them. So she got it out. But yeah, we never, I got snipped in all fairness. I got snipped after the last one, but between there,
wow,
they just came 20 months apart. All of them like clockwork, 21 months apart.
Same with these guys. I don't know. Anyway.
I have two that I'm like, I'm actually not sure how they were created. I was traveling. I don't even know.
I have that. They were 11 months
through the
apart
phone
too. And frankly,
John got you pregnant through the phone.
He's that good looking.
Here was my issue is that I was like, I can't take responsibility for making this decision. And so Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
If you think I'm ready, fine. Because I don't want to consciously make this decision. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
So first myth we busted, you're always cycling. So again, ladies, you're like the moon. Men, you're like the sun, rise and fall every day. So super simple, easy. Second myth I want to bust is I hear this all the time, especially when we have the HRT conversation. This is a new problem. Our mothers didn't have to do this. Our mothers didn't need HRT. So let's go ahead and dispel that really quick. Do you know what women were diagnosed with when they had PMS, perimenopause, or menopause issues back in the day?
Hang on, I think I know. Wasn't it psychosis?
Hysteria.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So the word,
I can relate.
Which you do not want to know what
the root meaning?
No, you don't want to know what the treatment was.
I don't know. Some women might be like, I'm in for that.
Well, I'll tell you after the podcast over.
I think I know.
So hysteria, that was the diagnosis. The word hysteria comes from the Latin word hystera, which means uterus. So hysteria literally means an issue with the uterus.
Does that mean like crazy uterus?
Crazy uterus, yeah. Yeah, so they were diagnosed with hysteria. And besides the mechanical option that Vohn's going to cover later, they were given opioids and alcohol or institutionalized. So that was what our women went through. So this is not a new issue. Now, do I think that maybe it might be a little worse now because of more chemicals in our environment, more blue light, more living out of balance with our cycle? Like as women, we don't get to live in sync with our cycle in our work schedules. You're just the same 40 hours every single week, right? The same demands. Yeah, maybe. I think we're becoming more conscious and we're having more conversations.
Could it be the antidepressants? Could it be the way that we medicate with scrolling, with binge watching? We medicate in different ways according to those moods.
I think it's worse now personally. Like this is my theory because I go down to the root. Like I'm all about HRT. There's some women that can feel a lot better even without HRT. I think a lot of it's the mineral depleted food. Yeah. Like the minerals are not in the food and you need certain minerals to even create hormone. Mm-hmm. And so like we have like with our mineral product, we have guys that are taking this, men that are taking this and seeing their testosterone increase like 200%, like 200 points.
I have all my daughters on the one that hasn't started her cycle yet.
From doing that.
You're going to have a better experience.
Yeah.
On which?
It's elemental edge. It's our mineral electrolyte, but we have different, like we have boron, for example, right? Yeah. The RDA is like 3 milligrams and ours is 20. So we're like, you're on the high end. It's like, well, because the RDAs are, the food doesn't have it. So you're not getting it, but you're seeing. So I think a lot of it too is that you are, because there's the lack of vitamins and minerals in the diet, you're not able to make the hormones. And so you're not able to go through the cycles normally and healthy.
Well, let's think about when does your period suck the most? In high school. Yeah. In middle school, right? I didn't have it in middle school. I have to bleed through any of my white mini skirts in middle school for, like every traumatic period story. But what do you eat in high school?
Junk.
Pizza, Cheetos, Diet Coke and donuts out of the, that is the time that we're eating the very worst. Yep. Could it be why we feel the very most?
Absolutely.
So it's just interesting.
And then we got perimenopause and menopause hitting at the next crazy period of life where you're raising teenagers, maybe also raising adults, maybe also taking in your parents and caring for them. So you're like, I'm falling apart, trying to put people out into the world who are good human beings and also bringing new people into my life that I now need to care for. So those time periods, they don't seem to line up.
Well, the sleep alone.
Yes.
Yeah. Goes straight out the window.
And sanity with sleep. 100%. So 2 myths dispelled. And then second is we don't have to live in sync with our cycle. It's just same day in, day out, and our body's kind of just accustomed to it. So you asked me earlier, when are my creativity days? So are we okay to break down the 28-day cycle?
I would love that. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to break it into 4 different phases over 28 days.
So interestingly enough, it's 4 7-day periods.
Well, they're
right?
a
Because
little different, just a little different than that. There's like, like 5-day windows because 28 days. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first days, like 1 to 10-ish, we call it a power phase. And this is at day 1 would be the day you would start your period. So again, if you're like, but I don't have a period, you're going to go get natural cycles and you're going to figure out when your day 1 is. Okay. The hormone that we're supporting is everything's low, which is why we don't feel good when we start our period. But the hormone we want to climb is estrogen.
Okay. Power cycle. This seems like a good thing.
It is a good thing.
You want power.
You can actually do longer fasting phases while you're on your period. You can actually lift heavier. And we're going to explain why. I know this is so counterintuitive. You're looking at me like, nope. Why would I want to do that? Why I'm bleeding? Yeah.
I'm not bleeding, so I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
I'll explain why in a minute. We can actually do longer fasting windows. We can actually lift and reach better our personal goals with fitness. We can set bigger goals in the gym, longer runs, things like that. And our body, the one thing our body doesn't like at that beginning is carbohydrates, which is what does every woman want to eat while they're on their period? You eat chocolate and potato chips, right? Mm-hmm. So when we eat the carbs, we block the conversion of testosterone to estrogen, which is the hormone we need to climb at the beginning of our cycle. So as we feed ourselves our potato chips and chocolate while we're on our period, we're making everything worse. And we kind of set off the month on a bad foot.
So with that, I've had a number of women say, why didn't I learn this life hack before? Like, I'm always miserable, like at the beginning of my period. Yeah. And somebody told me that I need to eat a big old hamburger on my first day of my period. Healthy one, not McDonald's one.
Yeah.
Real meat.
I was like, so when I went through McDonald's, maybe it was the first day of my period. I don't know.
It was tricking you, but you do want to eat real meat in burgers. So
and real salt. I mean, the salt cravings are good, but you want to go get yourself some mineral salt.
Yep. So, but having that protein, like on that first day, and they've noticed huge difference just in their symptoms, period symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want estrogen.
So no carbs. You want protein in that first.
Protein and fat. Yeah.
Protein, fat, that first.
Yeah. Then you go into what is called, it's a hormone loving phase. So you get 5 days right before you're going to be ovulating. And this is when we're super creative. Mm-hmm. We're also super shiny, meaning we're like
flirty.
We like the way we look. If you have like an event coming up that you have to go shopping for, this is the time you go shopping. When you won't look in the mirror and be like, I hate myself, you're like, this was the outfit for me. You will find the outfit during this time period. Creativity.
What's it called?
Work.
What's the time period called?
Your manifestation phase.
Okay, that's kind of cute.
Yeah. So it's your manifestation phase, and
is it the shortest one in the phases?
It's 5 days.
But in all the phases, is it the short?
It's one of the shorter ones.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. You can't. I mean, come on.
You can't have it all.
You can't have it all.
Yeah. You're ovulating. You feel more attractive. You look more attractive. Your personality is more.
We got to attract the men.
We have to attract the men.
Pheromones are probably firing.
Yeah. Testosterone starting to rise. So all the good things. Then we head into another power phase. Another 5-day power phase. So again, carbs, not our best friends at this point. Have another
and goals. This is after the ovulation.
Right after ovulation.
So does that the glowy 5-day period, does that include your ovulation?
Up to ovulation day. Yeah.
And so then when you ovulate, you're immediately a power.
Up till the day you ovulate. And then afterwards, then we're going right into power phase. So your body's like, I just did something amazing. Hopefully.
Okay.
And I can go do another big push in the gym if I want to go for lifting goals, if I want to go for longer fasting
windows. Just to clarify, the ovulation means that the egg has emerged from the fallopian tube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which what sets us in a luteal phase. So follicular phase, if we took the month, the 28 days, and we just split it in half, we have follicular phase means the whole goal is to get that egg to launch. Second half of the month, the luteal phase means the egg hopefully got fertilized and implanted. And if not, we're prepping for a period. So that's like the basic everybody kind of talks about.
Okay.
Your luteal phase. Yeah. We're splitting it into a little bit more so we know where lifestyle comes in.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So first 10 days-ish, 7 days-ish, we're going to do that power phase. We got 5 days manifestation phase. Carbs back in. You're creative. You're glowing. You can go shopping for the clothes.
Okay. We feel great.
Get another 5-day window of a second power phase. And then the last 10 days of your cycle, which is the longest. Carbs are good, but we're going into nurturing. So this isn't any extremes. This would be the worst time ever to do cold plunging or let me climb a mountain. Your body is I'm either prepping to grow a baby or I'm prepping for a period. And so when we think of our actual menstrual cycle of the bleed, all that prep work, all the work of storing the blood, of creating that lining that needs to be shed is actually happening during that time period. So all the blood has been set aside, all the resources are being utilized in that time period. So carbs are good. You're probably going to want to snuggle in at home a little more often. I'm not saying don't move and don't exercise. It's just not big, massive goals, no big fasting windows during that time period. And if you nurture yourself during those last 10 days of your cycle, your period will change because your body will have had all needs met while it prepped for the bleed. And when your bleed happens, it was like all the resources were there for everything I needed to do. I just have to release it on day one. And so it's not about, do I have enough chocolate in my system to survive this period? It's like, no, everything I needed, all my vitamins and minerals were there. All the nutrients I needed were there. All the hydration. I was loved on. I nurtured myself through building, and it just has to leave the body now. So it completely changes the way we live and look at things.
Nurturing. So this is not a creative time.
Not as creative, no.
Not a high demand.
It's a less
time.
high demand. It's not no creativity. It's just like, if you're like, I have the biggest project, I know you and your projects. If you're like, I know I need to like buckle down and I want to be able to knock things out effectively and my brain's not going to wander 60 different directions, or I'm not going to dread doing it, is those 5 days right before ovulation that you're like, okay, I know my best ideas will happen.
It's not a big window.
It's not, hey, we can do a lot. Woman, think about all the babies we've created in 20 minutes or less. We can do big things in small amount of time.
Especially when we're ADHD, I tell you what. Okay.
Miracles happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So what is the time in that you're like really volatile? What is your, if we think about the memes, the times when I'm like, I'm going to be set off.
Yeah. So the time you would be most volatile is either a couple of days right before you would start your period, so the end of that 10 days, or the start of the period. And the reason is every single hormone is low. So everything that makes you feel good, look good, skin's doing good, brains, it's all on the lowest end. People make jokes like this is when we're the most like men because, no estrogen, no progesterone, just whatever's left, right?
They're just raw dogging life.
Yeah. But the reality is that it's only like that if you don't nurture yourself during your nurture phase. If you didn't give your body what it needs, then it's like, it's fighting against you because it's like, why? Why did you neglect me so hard knowing what we have coming up? And so it doesn't have to be miserable. We don't have to have those super.
When we talk about like getting acne.
Yeah.
Before that's the PMS part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the PMS is really the end of the nurturing.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So you get a big surge of estrogen in the beginning of the month. Then we get to ovulation, it drops off. And then right after ovulation, we get another surge of estrogen. It's that second surge of estrogen that if we don't have a healthy liver, it's the second time that the body has to clear estrogen out. And it's like, we're doing it again. You're asking me this again. And if it's but at the same time where we are supposed to be restoring and nurturing and putting all the good things in, your liver's like, she didn't even think about magnesium this month. There's no magnesium. I'm like, I cannot do my job as a liver. And then we have that surge of, estrogen metabolites running all over the place, acne, grouchy, angry liver, nothing's moving. No fun.
Interesting. So if somebody is feeling like they're dealing with hormonal acne, then they're seeing that happening every time in the PMS.
Yeah. And they could also probably be seeing it around day 10 of their cycle because they're having another climb of estrogen. And estrogen has to be utilized, and then its metabolites have to be cleared, which is the liver's job. So if your liver's not doing anything, it comes out your skin instead.
That's why, hormones can impact obviously acne, but you go to some practitioners, they'll probably tell you, oh, it's the hormone, so you're going to get acne no matter what. And it's not. It's usually, when you're dealing with any kind of skin issue, it's usually the liver.
So could we just for 1 second talk about, like, we've talked a little bit about putting somebody on a birth control pill to control acne. What is the Accutane doing? If you've got somebody, because usually in theory that Accutane, or if somebody's dealing with really bad acne, that like it doesn't matter what they're cleansing it with, what TikTok shop they're, you know, and so you do the Accutane, which I've known lots of people who do the Accutane and it clears it up.
And what happens when they go off of it?
Well, sometimes some of them do great. Some of them have to go in for another round.
Yeah.
And so really, I mean, I know from Dr. Watts that the acne situation, if you're seeing it on your skin, it's a liver situation. Yeah. But it, you know, obviously when I think about my girls and their cycles, and the acne killed us.
And it's still, you got to realize you still have to look at the liver because like Lauren said, your liver stores hormones. And like she said, if you don't use the estrogen, you need to clear it. And if you have a sluggish liver, you're not clearing estrogen.
And if you're not sleeping, and if you're not eating good, and if you're stressed out, your liver's not optimized, right? Like
Correct.
it's
and there's so many things to that because the liver controls like over 500 processes in the body. It stores what, like A, C, D, K, I think.
All your fat solubles.
Most your vitamins. It creates your amino acids. It cholesterol, hormones. It stores all this stuff too.
Does all the binding for any toxins you're exposed to.
And it detoxes. So if you're depleted, and that's the one thing is like, well, what are you depleted of?
Yeah.
Because it does store other vitamins. It helps with blood sugar regulation, stores sugar and everything. So it does so many different things. So if you have a sluggish liver and you're not clearing estrogen, then yeah, you're going to be a lot more prone to probably having that period acne.
My whole thing with Accutane is there's a black box warning on it because of the impacts on mental health.
mm-hmm.
Why would you risk that? There is other options.
Well, and it's tough because honestly, if you've got a girl, and I can't discount the boy and impact on boys either. If you have teenagers and they're dealing with chronic acne, that's almost worse on their mental health.
It is.
It's horrible.
Yes, but
than anything.
My kids have actually lost friends who went Accutane 2 weeks, and they decided, and they're like that's so scary to me. So,
it's been. I mean, in my suicide conversations, that a lot of things comes up because the Accutane and the acne, it's like,
which is worse. Yeah.
Right. And then if you're putting an antidepressant on that.
Yeah.
Or, no sleep.
It all comes back to root cause though. What is causing the acne?
Yeah.
What is the actual reason you're having the acne breakout? It's not because you have an Accutane deficiency.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have some kind of inefficiency going on in the body, a deficiency or an inefficiency going on in the body.
And acne is just one sign of it.
That's exactly.
Probably the thing we're seeing the most and we're focused on.
Right.
I mean, something else, other things are coming.
But you have a lot of women that are going through that are in this phase of life, this menopause,
right?
Yep.
Perimenopause, and they're like, my gosh,
acne's back.
I'm dealing with this crazy amount of acne. What's happening?
Yeah.
And it is obviously changes in hormones, but I think that we just, what I want people to hear is that this is a liver situation. And I don't think that that's talked about. And I've seen it as Dr. Watts has helped me share this with my own kids, supporting their liver and their skin. And
so my oldest, we actually decided what she was going to go to school for because her acne was so bad. So she actually went to school to be a master medical esthetician. Mm-hmm. So in esthetician school, they did everything. They did all the chemical peels, all the lasers, nothing ever touched her acne until we went to hormone support. Nothing. So
when you say hormone support,
we went back to living on her liver and we went to regulating her blood sugar. So she's always, I think all of us have an Achilles heel at some point, right?
Sure.
Hers has always been blood sugar. And that's from a family that we almost never eat out. We make everything at home. I don't keep treats in the house. I don't keep snack food. And still it was her shortcoming, but that was what was messing with her hormones. And then getting the right minerals in and loving on her liver. That's life-changing. And we were buying really expensive skincare. Accutane just wasn't on because we'd already lost friends. Like that was never on there. But even going to school for it with 2 years, people going at like, we're going to fix this for you, Natalie. It didn't work. So if you go back, I understand the amount of mental stress that you're expressing, like the concern at. It still means if we go back to the root, it will heal. Like it is possible to heal it. So it just means you have to find for you, is it just the liver super sluggish? Is there some sort of production that is out of balance because the liver is sluggish? Is it a combination of, because of things you're being exposed to in your environment, all the xenoestrogens, and your liver isn't functioning? Like it might be double duty.
Right.
But that healing journey is so worth it because what you're experiencing on the outside, there are things that are serious on the inside happening that you want to go back and not have to deal with that down the road either. And the amount of young men that we're seeing that deal with acne, but also when you go to test them and then their testosterone is under 300 and you're like,
how is that possible?
How is this even possible?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it's a lot of it. I think it's we've right now where we're at, as opposed to 20 years ago and before that, there was on a daily basis, you were exposed to so many endocrine disruptors, from lotions to makeup to anything you put on your skin, not to mention the foods and different things. So that's messing with their hormones as well.
Dude, I walk past some teenage boys and the amount of Axe body spray that they have on, I'm like, I need to go home and do a detox because the amount I breathe.
They really bought into that. They really bought into the commercials.
They did. They're like every girl in the 10-mile radius
is going to run.
Yeah. No, I'm just sitting there going like, oh, if you only knew what you were doing to your system. Like,
I just, and with the acne, I mean, I told you my thing. If I had to support, and people have asked me, if you could only do one supplement, what would you do? And I'm like, man, that's such a tricky question. So I'm like, microbiome is huge, right? The gut is huge. I mean, I could go through and list a lot of things. But I'm like, really, when it comes down to it, I could figure out a way to really help my microbiome just by diet, right? So I'm like, okay, I could get away with this, liver. If there's one thing, if I could only take one supplement a day, and that's the only thing I was allowed to take, I would take a really good liver support product. Because it does regulate hormones. It does all these things. It regulates blood sugar. It's so many different processes that if you have a good liver, that means all those, you're going to create hormones properly. You're going to store hormones and vitamins and cholesterol, and your liver is also going to detox out the stuff that's not supposed to be in the body nicely and easily. That would be the number one thing, and then when it comes to acne, I'm like, my go-to right now, I've told you, is I'm like, get them on a really good liver product and then
give them some ivermectin.
Go to the feed store and buy the ivermectin paste and put it on topically.
Yeah.
Then it works.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting. So interesting. Okay. So we've debunked a bunch of the myths. And so let's talk about what can we do? I just want to hit on what can we do differently to ease maybe that nurturing part? What can we do to really respond to our body rather than react to our body in those difficult parts?
So I would say the number one thing that I would tell any woman to do is go track your cycle effectively. That has to be the first thing. I think that we weren't taught how to do it. That wasn't, 5th grade maturation class. We didn't do it. You need to know where you're at, and you need to know where the chaos is to be able to make different lifestyle choices. So number one, 100%, I don't care if you've had a hysterectomy, thought you've gone through menopause, you just want to know how to do natural birth control, all of it. That is the first place to start. Second place is, now that you know where you're at, can you eat a little more in sync with your cycle? Can we fuel the right hormones being produced? And when you get to that nurture section, it's going to come a little bit easier because you've got the forgiveness and you're allowed to have the carbs back. And you're going to say, okay, I have to trust my body that if I give it what it needs now, next week is going to be like any cycle I've ever had in the past. It's going to be a completely different experience because I'm going to be willing to give myself the time to prep for that now.
And does that nurturing mean more sleep?
Yeah.
It
is purposely avoiding more stressful situations. So, if you got a typical job, don't plan the big meetings then. We don't need to have the critical conversations with our spouse, our kids, our teenage, nothing. that we're going to move those off for a different time period, right? Yes, we want to sleep. We want to focus on hydration, the basics, protein, hydration, sleep, knock them in, right? Anybody doing the 21-day challenge? That's basics.
And that's going to help us in the whole entire cycle, like in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help to try to jump in that last week and tidy up. Yeah. It's kind of like a sustained support is going to be the best support.
Your body is getting ready to do a pretty big job, and it's preparing to be ready if you need more like bigger fasting windows. It's prepping for all that. This is where we build trust with our body. I'm going to make sure that you're ready for what's coming up.
She's talking about fasting windows, and we haven't really addressed that. And it's a whole conversation, man.
Yeah.
I would add one thing to that.
And I was, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And frankly, if you say the word fast to me, I immediately break out in hives in every area.
Ever had to fast while you were on your period?
I'm not a great faster.
Yeah.
So that's like, I don't think I want to get into ketosis, which is something I want to talk about another time, but like fast Sunday is just not my favorite day. Yeah. But so anyway,
I would, in everything that Lauren just said, if there's one supplement to add to that, I would choose like a really good mineral electrolyte product, just to ensure that your body has all the inputs it needs in order to create hormone.
Yeah.
So,
and especially staying hydrated right before you get your period, like your body has to work a lot harder when everything's all sludgy and thick versus like it being easy.
It's going to dehydrate your eggs and blood as water. So.
I follow you on Instagram, and also you mentioned this in the 21-day challenge. And so this is great. But when you start talking about sludgy blood, you're just like, sorry, everybody, but she talks about sludgy blood if you're not hydrated.
Yeah.
And we don't want sludgy blood.
No.
Gross.
No, you wonder why everybody's got brain fog. Like, blood, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like, you want everything to flow, get up there to your brain, get to your organs, get to your muscles. We want flow.
We want flow. Watch for the app for the men about shopping according to your wife's cycle.
I think this is a brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant idea. I'm fascinated. I don't have any trackers. I didn't think I needed to track. And I think that maybe it's the power of suggestion. I don't know, but because I wasn't tracking, I was just thinking I was crazy pretty much often. Like I have a few good days. I don't know why these days are good. Yeah. But I have days that I cannot get it together.
Yeah.
And I'm really hard on myself, especially because I'm like, I have a hysterectomy. I have hormone support. I exercise. I take care of myself. Why is my life not perfect?
Well, I
have to just give myself
grace. You have to give yourself
grace. I have to recognize that I'm not meant to produce at this high level every single day. And I have to be the first person to be like, not expecting that out of myself.
I just picture driving a car and automatically there's going to be right turns in the road and there's going to be left turns. But if you're expecting to go straight and the car follows the road to the right and you're like, what the heck is going on? You needed to produce progesterone. I'm doing exactly what and you're like, no, but I was planning on doing this. We were going to get this activity done. Your body's like, yeah, literally this happens every month, woman. We always go right now. And you never want to come along. And so we're fighting our bodies. So if we can just get to learn what our body's trying to do, we can use it to our advantage instead of it being the frustrating, why am I acting like this? Why do I feel this way? Why do I want to cry? Like our body does the same thing month after month. We just never listen to it. And it's because we were never taught how. And I know you guys are going to have the conversation with the guys too, but the poor guys are sitting there like, can't you be a better husband? Can't you be so supportive? And he's like, you don't even know what you're doing with your own body.
Right.
But somehow me as the spouse is supposed to know how to support this. Like it's very hard.
And Eric will just do the thing like kind of peeking around the corner like, I'm not going in there.
Not today. I didn't have the app to tell me to buy chocolate. Darn it.
Okay, so let me ask you then, this is probably my last question. If I am tracking, is my temperature going to be super, super even and then I'm going to have a dip And that's going to tell me. So like, how do I know?
There's still variability, but the app
will tell me.
The app will tell you. It guides you through all of that. And again, it learns with you. So don't like.
So it's going to take a couple months.
Perfect. No, it takes a couple months, and it'll start, especially if you're using it for birth, for those who will use it for birth control, because you're not going to chemically castrate yourself or your daughters anymore. It'll tell you like these are the no windows. Like, and it'll shrink as it gets to know for sure. I know for a positive this was the day you were ovulating. So it'll do all of that for you. And anytime you're tracking like sleep with it, like you'll get to know like, hey, I'm supposed to be going into the nurture phase, but I'm not sleeping and I'm super anxious. Bam, there's your sign your progesterone is too low at a time where progesterone should have been at its very highest. So it'll even give you guidance for knowing like, okay, I'm not producing progesterone at the levels that I should be. It's time for the intervention. Like try supplements, try the liver. If that's not working, I'd like to sleep again. I might need progesterone in my life. So it'll even help give you that knowledge of like, I know exactly when the bad days happen. I know exactly what the symptoms are, but you won't know that until you start with tracking.
Yeah. Well, welcome to me being 53 and being like,
and learning about your period.
What would have happened? What would have happened if I learned about this?
Right.
But what are you going to do with your daughters and granddaughters one day?
Yeah.
Like we can choose to make it different.
Yeah. We need to. And I love it when I come home from the podcast and I start just dumping them and they're like, oh yeah, I saw something on that on TikTok. And then it's like, boom, you get the blast, from the social media.
Oh yeah.
Algorithm.
But it verifies everything Mom just said. So Mom's brilliant. She knows.
Mom is brilliant. Always. I love it. I hope this has been helpful for you. Is there anything that we didn't touch on?
No, I think again, go start to track. Then you can learn to optimize and live in sync with your cycle, and then hopefully hop in at least to the 21-day challenge, because the basics, if you could just get the basics down, watch how different your cycle could be.
You will see both Lauren and Dr. Watts and myself in the 21-day challenge. And the 3 things that we talk about in the 21-day challenge is sleep, hydration, and protein. And, it was actually from Lauren the most that I learned that when you have protein, you're not psychotic, which was such an interesting.
It's just science.
It's just science.
So interesting to me. I was, who knows where I am in my cycle because I have not tracked, and I'm really excited because I'm going to get those glow days on the calendar. Yeah. I'm going to use those. I don't know when they are. Like, how crazy. Like, I'm really excited about it.
Missing out on that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's time.
Yeah.
We need to get going on that. Let us know, as always, if you have questions for these brilliant people, jump into the 21-day challenge or the 90-day challenge where we kind of do an even deeper dive. But any time we can support our body by building these habits that are just going to be foundational, we are going to be optimized. Not perfect. I wish all the problems would go away.
No, we're still human.
We still have to have human. And there's humans that live with us.
Yeah.
And around us. And we serve with them in churches. But anyway, I'm so thankful for you and for your willingness to share and for the contributions to the program, because it's so insightful. And not only will your future self be so thankful and grateful, but all of the women and men in your life. Like, look at what we've just done. Like, it's so awesome. Thank you for being here. And please come back next week here on The Shift.